Bungie just released a massive article, Dev Insights, the Final Shape Abilities Tuning Preview. In this video, we'll cover updates to a large portion of the Stasis ability suite, including a new keyword, Frost Armor, the near future of Well of Radiance and Ward of Dawn in the Final Shape, and a subclass by subclass breakdown of balance changes to abilities, aspects, and fragments. Welcome Guardians, let's begin. Let's first start with Stasis. After launching Stasis in the Bungie 30th Anniversary Pack with Void 3.0, Bungie now aims to integrate Stasis better with other damage types in the Final Shape. In particular, they want to upgrade the Stasis Shard Overshield that lived on the fringes of the damage type to make it a full-on keyword. Frost Armor is a stacking buff that reduces incoming damage, with greater damage reduction as your stacks increase. At launch, Frost Armor will be granted from a variety of sources, including the Tectonic, Grim, Glacial Harvest aspects, fragments, and exotic armor. By default, you can build a maximum number of 5 stacks of Frost Armor that last 9 seconds, but with the newly reworked Whisper of Rime fragment, Frost Armor's maximum lifetime increases to 13 seconds and can build a maximum of 8 stacks. New Frost Armor keyword, you are fortified by layers of durable stasis matter, reducing incoming damage. Frost Armor damage resistance grows stronger as you gain additional stacks. Reduces damage from PvE combatants by 4.5% and from enemy players in Crucible by 2%. Whisper of Rime reworked, no longer grants a Stasis Shard Overshield when collecting a Stasis Shard, now increases the maximum duration and stack count of your Frost Armor. Next up, some changes to Stasis Shards. To prevent excess shards, creation is limited to specific aspects rather than intrinsic to the damage type. Collecting shards grants health and Frost Armor stacks with a shared cooldown to prevent abuse. For specific aspect changes for Tectonic Harvest, now create shards from shattering frozen targets and stasis crystals, and for Grim, Tectonic, and Glacial Harvest, standardized cooldown for rapid shard creation. Some armor updates. They replaced existing damage resistance with Frost Armor effects. Renewal Grasps grants Frost Armor in Duskfield Grenade volume, and for the Wrath Reavers grants Frost Armor with a Rift or Winter's Wrath Shatter attack. To help increase players' capabilities to generate Stasis Shards, they've created a brand new fragment that offers a straightforward method that can slot into many different build types, Whisper of Chill. Stasis Weapon Final Blows have a chance to create a Stasis Shard. They've also reworked some of the other ones. Whisper of Chains now focuses on creating Stasis Shards in Frost Armor rather than passive resistance. Whisper of Fractures grants Frost Armor when shattering frozen targets with melee attacks. Whisper of Torment, simplified grenade energy regeneration, increased with Frost Armor. And Whisper of Reversal, slows enemies when dealing or receiving melee damage with Frost Armor. Shatter damage is also seeing some changes in PvE. Increased base damage from 200 to 400, with fixes to prevent bosses from taking double damage from auto-shattering. So that's the basic information. Let's now go through class by class. For Warlocks, they believe Shadebinders are largely in good shape across all game modes. They've limited the focus here but added a small boost to Ice Fire Bolts, increased maximum number of Seekers created before going on cooldown from 5 to 7. For the Hunter Winter's Shroud new abilities, slowing targets increases class ability regeneration, grants brief PvE damage reduction when activated. PvP bonus for class ability regeneration is reduced. Touch of Winter Glacial Grenade added 1 more Stasis Crystal to the ring formation, totaling 7, and ring formation time increased to 0.27 seconds. Cold Snap no longer chains an additional time. Seekers now duplicate when freezing a target. And the second and third Seeker chains create medium and large Stasis Crystals respectively. And then Silence and Squall enhancements. Increased maximum travel speed by 10%. Storm slows down when targets are within its area to prevent overshooting. And increased damage and slow tick rate versus PvE combatants by 40%, reducing freezing time from 0.8 to 0.5 seconds. These updates aim to enhance the Revenant's performance in high difficulty PvE content and ensure smoother integration of its abilities. Now moving on to the Behemoth Titan Stasis updates. Overall, the objective is to enhance the quality of life, making abilities more reliable and intuitive. Shiver Strike enhancements are as follows: increased damage versus PvE combatants by 10%, enlarged melee target search area by 50%, and improved maximum lunge tracking speed from 7 to 21 degrees per second. Glacial Quake auto sprints when moving forward, preventing awkward collisions with crystals. Cryoclasm adjustments removed sprint wind-up requirement and introduced a 4-second cooldown after an extended slide. And then Diamond of Lance increased detonation radius for thrown lances from 3.5 to 5 meters, increased slam detonation radius versus PvE combatants from 6.75 to 8 meters, shatters stasis crystals on direct impact, reduced pickup interaction time from 0.2 to 0.1 seconds, and increased pickup interaction radius from 0.7 to 3 meters. These updates aim to make Behemoth abilities more reliable, easier to use, and better integrated into combat. Let's now move on to the Well of Radiance and Ward of Dawn changes. Bungie has chosen to push Well of Radiance further towards that offensive capability by allowing its radiance to persist for a short duration after players leave the well. They're also pulling back on its defensive output, both damage resistance and healing rate, by a significant margin. So reduced player survivability within the well, healing reduced from 100 to 50 health points per second, initial heal increased from 40 to 300 health points, damage resistance reduced for both non-boss 40% to 20% and boss combatants 40 to 10%. Increased maximum orbs of power from 4 to 5. And for Ward of Dawn, designed as a defensive safe haven with added defensive capabilities around the dome. Bungie is making some changes around the dome, not just in it, and reworking the Armor of Light to make your current health state while in the dome or Ward of Dawn more understandable. Armor of Light Overshield removed, replaced with Full Void Overshield. Armor of Light now provides 30% damage resistance versus players and 60% versus combatants. Health inside the dome remains similar in PvE but reduced in PvP. Void Overshield trickles over time to allies near the dome. No longer provides weapons of light by default, moved to Helm of Saint 14, and Orbs of Power generation added for melee kills near the dome. All supers will have uniform damage-based recharge rates, increasing uptime for slower recharge roaming supers and reducing uptime for fast recharge burst supers. The next section goes into subclass changes for each class: Arc, Solar, Void, and Strand. These sections are huge, but let's recap the most important parts. For Arc subclasses, Hunter Arcstrider increased survivability for Tempest Strike. Warlock Stormcaller enhanced Lightning Surge and Ball Lightning. And for Titans, Thunderclap gains damage and resistance boosts, Knockout reworked for instant health chunks on melee defeats. Solar subclasses, for Hunter Gunslinger, Lightweight Knife now has 2 charges and faster throw speed. Titan Sunbreaker, Consecration Slam attack improved for consistency and damage. Grenades increase damage and ease of use for swarm grenades. For Void, the Night Stalker Hunters, Snare Bomb and Trapper's Ambush now apply damage over time. Sentinel Titan Shield Throw increased bounce and damage. And for Voidwalker Warlock, Chaos Accelerant's Magnetic Grenade and Pocket Singularity received damage buffs. Lastly, we have Strand, for the Hunter Threadrunner, reduced area of effect for Ensnaring Slam. Broodweaver Warlock, Weaver's Call now generates threadlings through Strand damage. And for Titan Berserker, adjustments to the Into the Fray and Banner of War for balanced gameplay. Reducing melee energy regeneration for Into the Fray, reducing maximum timer for Banner of War, among some other changes. But there you have it, Guardians, a quick breakdown of everything in this new abilities tuning preview. Stasis, Light and Dark subclass changes, Well of Radiance, and Ward of Dawn as well. If you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.